seems reasonable. And then we're going to make expansions or something along the line where we can continue to do that. And I think that's one of the things that made Destiny successful, where other live service games have really struggled because they either decided to make them free and thus having to make that up through microtransactions and getting that people addicted on that loop, where now we look at No Rest for the Wicked, which I'm just absolutely in love with. They've already said, like, there's no microtransactions in their game ever. They are going to make expansions to the game. Cool. Like, buy the game, sell the game, play the game, and give me a reason to come back. And whatever that reason ends up being, usually is best when it's more content to play the thing that I've already enjoyed and loved. And then it gives you options to continue to stay around and do other things if you choose to do so, but never making you feel like you're falling behind. I think that is whenever a game starts to make me feel like if I'm not playing it, I'm falling behind, and that's, not a good thing. I think I just have to separate myself from that almost, pretty much immediately.
That's literally why I stopped playing Destiny 2. It went free to play, and I jumped in, and they did like the Game Pass thing at the same time, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll check it out. And when I started playing, I was like, this is great. I put it down for a little while, and then when I finally come back to it, they're like, oh, you have like 2 weeks to finish this content before it gets sent to the vault. And I was just like, well, that sucks. I guess I'm just not going to do this anymore.
Yeah. Yep. Somebody brought up that, like, didn't Arc Raiders say they have a 10-year plan? Yeah. They did an interview where they said internally for a long time, we've referred to Arc Raiders as a 10-year game. That's the ambition we're aiming for. That dictates the type of quantity of content we want to put into it. I also think Arc Raiders won the crowd. Like I've said in the movie Gladiator, he's like, if you win the crowd, you win your freedom. And I'm like, that's what a live service game has to do. You got to win the crowd or you die. Like,
plus internally, you have to plan to long term. Internally, you have to do that. You can't survive without knowing, at least what direction you're going to head in.
You need a destination. Anthem didn't have a destination until like the 11th hour, and then they're like, oh, and then I was like, oh, and then obviously that ended well. But yeah, you're right. Like you want to have that kind of North Star and that goal, but it comes down to marketing, because I think there are key phrases. I've heard so many people tell me, like, as soon as the game says it's a live service game, they're like, man, I don't care about it. Like there are some terms that Destiny in and of himself avoided the term MMO for a long time. They continue to push back against it, and it's like, but it has a lot of the hallmarks. And then Luke Smith eventually came out and said, okay, yeah, we're going to be an MMO. And it's because there are like these, these preconceived notions that, that rightly or wrongly so. I love that Chrono's trying to be fed right now.
Get out of here.
That's my favorite thing in my life, because usually it's my kids jumping in. And finally, so if anybody's kids ever want to jump in on the podcast and ruin it for us all, that's great. At least I share in that blame. All right, I want to shift to topics again. This is Ashen Creation. This is also another huge story that continues to spiral into a degree. We've seen the new lawsuits filed by Stephen Sharif now, alleging that he was physically threatened and forced out of ownership of the company. And I really, oh gosh, like, it feels so brutal, but I'm like, I just want them all to lose their money. From like whoever is right or wrong, I think everybody was wrong in this, because at least from what was communicated and promised, it just feels, I haven't seen anything that points to like it wasn't a scam from the beginning. And it just, every news, every bit keeps coming out, and I'm just curious as y'all's thoughts.
Well, about a month or two ago, remember what I said? Where like I'm rooting for this game to fail. Seems like
Greg was the guy.
Spot on again.
I'm sure we have a clip, and I believe that clip was posted, and there were some comments.
Spot on again.
A lot of hopium in that comment section.
I think that's like it is a testament to, there is the sense of like people are willing to set aside kind of the things that kind of give them red flags, right? Like it's like, yeah, in a normal relationship, like this week it's not even on the docket for the topic, but Crimson Desert coming out, and we haven't really seen console gameplay, and it's yet being promoted by Sony, for example. Like there's things that doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong, but it's like it does give you pause. But within the MMO community, especially when it comes to an upcoming MMO, like there is a group that is like so hungry and so desperate that it's like you just kind of ignore all the warning signs, much like that crazy girlfriend that we probably all of us have had at some point.
I was
going
to say, this is like If I Can Fix Her was a video game.
And it's like, and then at some point when it's like the honeymoon phase ends, and then y'all eventually break up, and then all your friends are like, oh my gosh, thank goodness that's over. And you're like, why didn't you tell me? It's like, we could have tried, but you weren't gonna even listen to us this whole time. But
you weren't thinking with the right head, buddy.
But yeah, so the lawsuits are have been filed, and it continues to come out. Embezzlement is a huge thing that it seems like that it's been going on. A lot of this money, a lot of shell games. What I find interesting, and kind of where this brings in the Tencent question, is if you guys look back, is that apparently Steven was trying to say that Tencent was interested in acquiring them sometime late last year, and that's what he used to draw in a lot of funds. Well, what also happened around that time is that's when New World and Amazon announced that they shut down. I said, guys, this is going to be huge rippling effects across all of anything that's an MMO. And the reason ends up being is like, if people see this and see even Amazon doesn't want to stick it out, like, why would we? And so then we saw Tencent cancel the Pixel game, and they backed out of like all these things. So like they all of a sudden started withdrawing a lot of funding around the time. I would venture to put money on this that, yeah, they probably were in talks to acquire Intrepid Studios to some percentage degree because of whatnot. And then all of a sudden, like the market shifted, the capital investment shifted completely. And then that deal fell through. And then that's all of a sudden when we see them rush the game out to Steam, trying to capitalize on as much money as possible to pay back their debts. And so gamers lose.
They had to get that Kickstarter money.
They had to make sure they try to at least come up with a legal defense, not to have to pay it back. But then who would even get it, right? Like, it's like, how do you even? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think they owe me $150.
I put my money in fully, like, under the impression that I'm never gonna get it back. I'm not gonna see it.
I don't
I was
think I'll
like,
get it back either.